Okay, so you're diving headfirst into those automotive engineering interviews, right? Hoping to land that dream job. Well, today we're going deeper, way deeper than the usual tips and tricks. Like, we're going to unearth some serious insider insights, the kind that'll make you stand out in a sea of applicants.
I like it. I mean, knowing how to present yourself, your skills, your passion, it's an art form, really, especially in a field as competitive as this one.
And for this deep dive, we're turning to a fantastic YouTube video by interview coach Joshua Brown. He's from How to Become.
Okay.
This guy, he's seen it all, helped tons of candidates just like you navigate this whole interview maze.
Right, right.
And because we love having a double dose of expertise, I've got our engineering and career guru joining me today to kind of like break it all down.
Always happy to do it. You know, there's a real art to presenting your skills and your passion and making it really click with those hiring managers. It's tricky, especially in a field as fast-paced as automotive engineering.
Totally. And Brown, he kicks off with a point that's so important, but people often just kind of gloss over it. It's that first impression, that tell me about yourself part.
Oh, yeah.
He makes it clear it's not about, just reciting your resume.
It's like you're pitching something, a solution, and guess what? You are the solution. You've got to grab their attention and show them you really get what they need, almost like you're already on the inside.
He even says, try weaving in some of those keywords straight from the job description.
Yeah.
Like you're speaking their language right from the get-go. I remember, actually, I was interviewing for a technical writing position, and
Let me guess. The description said something about concise and engaging content, and you made sure to mention your knack for making complex stuff easy to understand.
exactly, I even used some of those phrases.
Smart.
And guess what? Nailed it. Got the job right there.
Yeah.
So trust me, it works.
Yeah, it's not about tricking anyone. It's more like you've done your homework, you're showing them you're on the same page, aiming for the same goals.
Now, Brown gets into the skills every automotive engineer needs to really showcase technical proficiency, problem solving, innovation. But he doesn't just hit you with these buzzwords and then leave you hanging.
Right, right. Because it's one thing to say, hey, I'm great with vehicle dynamics. It's another thing entirely to actually explain what you know about suspension design or how those different tire compounds can impact, the entire performance of the vehicle.
So instead of just saying, I'm a great problem solver, you need to be ready with a real specific example of what you did, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
think back to a project, a tough one, where you had to solve a complex engineering problem. Did you have to, say, make a component lighter but still make sure it wouldn't fall apart? Or maybe you found a brand new way to make a vehicle more fuel efficient. Those are the stories that'll stick with them.
It's about showing them, not just telling them.
Exactly.
Now, beyond just like the technical stuff, Brown really emphasizes how important it is to get across your genuine passion for this field. Like, how do you answer that question? Why this career path? And make it sound real.
I mean, you got to think, like, companies, they're not just hiring, engineers, right? They're looking for the people who are going to drive their vision, their future.
It's like he even gives an example, a sample answer, where someone talks about how much they love the whole, like, sustainable mobility thing. And they talk about wanting to build cars that can, perform really well, but also be good for the environment.
Exactly. Like, it's more than just loving cars. It's about, can you match what you're into with what the company believes in? Can you show them you'll be a good fit and help them succeed?
Right. And speaking of contributing, doing great things, Brown gets into that question everyone hates, even if you've been through a million interviews at why should we hire you?
Oh, yeah, the big one. But don't let it freak you out. Think of it like this. It's your chance to connect the dots for them, show them how your track record lines up with exactly what they need.
Brown actually has this whole formula: proven track record, plus skills that fit the company, plus real passion. You put those together and bam, winning answer.
And remember how we were talking about being specific? It's super important when you're talking about what you've accomplished. So don't just say, oh, I improved this car's fuel efficiency. Tell them how much. By 10%. 15 numbers. Those are what make it real.
It's that saying, show don't tell, but like way more intense.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what's really cool, Brown doesn't just stick with those, typical interview questions. He throws in some curveballs, things you might not expect, like technical challenges or tricky situations with your team.
It's almost like he's putting you through, like, interview boot camp. Even if you don't have all the answers memorized, just knowing these kinds of things might come up, it helps you relax.
Because interviews, honestly, sometimes they do feel like you're walking through a minefield.
Right.
But if you've thought about those curveball questions ahead of time, you won't freeze up as easily. Like, when you've studied for every possible question on a test. Even if something weird comes up, you're ready.
Exactly. Being prepared, that's what makes you feel confident. And speaking of confidence, Brown throws in this power move that I really like. He says, flip the script a little, have some good questions ready to ask them.
Yeah, it's easy to forget you're interviewing them, too.
It's true. And asking good questions, I mean, really thoughtful ones, it does two things. It gives you some clues about, like, what the company's really like, what their vision is, And it also shows them you're proactive, that you're not just desperate for any job. You want the right one.
It is kind of like dating.
Hello?
You're both trying to, you know, put your best foot forward. And Brown says, don't just ask those surface level questions about, vacation days or whatever. Really dig in. Like, what's their take on innovation? How committed are they to sustainability? Where do they see, like, the future of this whole field going?
Now, those are questions that make you stand out. Most people just want to know about salary and stuff, but you're showing them you're in it for the long haul. You're thinking about the big picture. Actually, I was on this interview panel once, and a candidate, they asked about how we felt about using AI in vehicle design. And honestly, that question, it got everyone talking. It was really interesting. That's what set that person apart.
Wow, see, that's thinking ahead. Not just what's happening now, but what about 5, 10 years from now?
Exactly. Your questions, they're like a window into like how curious you are, if you're ambitious, if you're paying attention to what's going on. It's just as important as anything else you say, maybe even more.
Man, this deep dive has been amazing. We went from telling your story in a way that'll grab them to, like, asking the right questions and really leaving a mark.
Don't forget, practice makes perfect.
Oh.
So go into that interview with all your technical knowledge, but also remember everything we talked about today. Show them you're not just another engineer. You're the one who's going to make things happen.
You got this. And hey, when you land that dream job, maybe you can come back and tell us all about it, right? Until then, good luck out there.